Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at the 2020 electoral map. I know I've been doing a lot of these related to 2020, but again, I am gone for the week, so I apologize for that. But we're going to do the 2020 electoral map if Roe v. Wade is reversed. So this should be a pretty interesting scenario, considering Brett Kavanaugh is likely to be confirmed within the next couple weeks or possibly months. Regardless, it seems like if before the 2020 election, Roe v. Wade is reversed, Democrats will definitely have something to play on. It will be something that the Democrats will definitely capitalize on. I'm also going to do a Senate and governor map because these will actually be contested races if this does reverse before 2018, which it probably won't. But it's always fun to speculate. When we look at this electoral map, again, we're going to do this a little bit differently, actually. We're not going to do it just by safe and toss-up states. There are some states that will be safe and some states that will be toss-ups and some but now we're going to go into some other states that may be likely or leaning. So we start off on the western coast. We know these states are predominantly Democratic. They're not flipping for a while. When we go to a number of these other states, they're probably going to hold on to their solid Republican identity, except for a couple of them, which could actually end up being a little bit closer than you might expect due to the reversal, of Roe v. Wade. And since this is something from the 70s, this has been around for a long time. This is nothing recent. And if this does go in our lifetime before the 2020 election, the Republicans are going to have to focus on a number of key states because they're going to start losing voters drastically, especially women voters, some that may be independents and do not necessarily agree with the concept of abortion, but also don't agree with the government intervention of abortion because they support a smaller government, while also they can disagree with the practice of abortion, but they do not believe that the government should have a role in preventing abortions because, again, smaller government doesn't always work with government intervention in certain things related to a woman's health, and it doesn't always play well for the Republican Party depending on how they take a stance. But when we look at this electoral map, clearly the Democrats are going to be the favorite to win this election because this is something that directly impacts their voting base and something that will most definitely get out a number of women voters voting for the Democrats. Most women agree with Roe v. Wade, and it doesn't. Most of America agrees with Roe v. Wade. It seems like this would be something that the Democrats will capitalize on, and the Republicans will call this baby murder, things like that. Yes, they will also get some of their own base out, but if this is gone, there would really be no need for Republicans to come out and vote. They've already won the long-term game. This is just an election, one of few elections where the Democrats will come out in full force against a certain political party because of an action, but it's not going to last long. Whereas if this reverses, it's going to take decades before it goes back into play, considering that a couple other Supreme Court justices are probably not going to resign during if there's a Democratic winner in 2020 or 2024, their presidency, depending on who it is. So Virginia would still likely be Democratic, actually tilting in the favor of the Democrats. Right now, Minnesota would also be likely for the Democrats. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put that one in the leaning column, but it's still going to go in their column along with the rest of the Rust Belt. The Rust Belt would easily be one of the first areas to flip because Donald Trump narrowly won here in 2016. That doesn't mean that he's going to hold on to these voters, especially if Roe v. Wade reverses. So that's why I'm actually going to put Minnesota in the likely column. And that puts the Democrats at 251 electoral votes and Donald Trump at 93. We go over to Colorado. We flip that one to the Democrats. That one would also be likely. New Mexico, arguably safe, but I'm going to put that one in the likely column. And Nevada, of course, a leaning state because it's always a swing state, but still in the Democratic column. This puts them over 270 electoral votes. We could see states like South Carolina get a little bit closer. Missouri, a tad bit closer. Indiana as well. These states getting closer than they used to. Texas, we'll come back to. Arizona, we'll come back to that one as well. Alaska, we could see getting closer. New Hampshire would be leaning in the favor of the Democrats. Maine at large would be leaning likely for the Democrats. Safe in that first district and probably leaning in that second district by a narrow margin. That gives the Democrats 279 electoral votes. So right now, we have Donald Trump at 126 electoral votes. He's going to get a big boost from the state. The state of Texas, we're going to put narrowly in the Republican column. So that puts the Republicans around the area where John McCain got in 2008, and they're probably going to win a couple more states. Georgia's probably going to go red, along with Arizona. But right now, if we're talking about this, if women come out and vote in full force, the Democratic Party is probably going to carry Florida by a narrow margin. But it seems like they're going to be inspired to come out and vote. North Carolina right now would probably still be leaning in the favor of the Republicans along with Ohio and Iowa, but these states are getting much closer than where they were back in 2016. So we look at this map. It's not good for Republicans considering the Democrats take the win, but it's not going to be a blowout for Democrats unless they capitalize on this right. States like Ohio, Iowa, North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona are all in play. Texas not so much. Indiana, Missouri, South Carolina not so much. But a lot of these lean red states could go to the Democrats if the Democrats are able to play their cards right, if Roe v. Wade is reversed. But keep in mind, this would likely be the electoral map if women came out and voted the same way people expected, actually, for Hillary Clinton in 2016. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I will see you all tomorrow at 12 p.m.